I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
As the big man Ian Wright just said there, people, Deluded, I'm back again as usual. Apologies. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night. It's a pleasure to be here with you lot. How are you lot feeling today, people? Whether you support Arsenal or not, we need to address the elephant in the room, people. It's Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur. We're Manchester United fans for 90 minutes. Personally, I actually think Spurs are going to do it. You know, it just feels like the year of the underdog. You know, Crystal Palace won the FA Cup. Newcastle ended their trophy drought, couple of Bologna over in Italy. It just feels like it. And Spurs have a depleted side. You know, Son's out of form. There's no Kulusevski. There's no Maddison. By God's grace, I'm wrong. Manchester United, big Manchester United. You fans, your fans always sit there and tell us, even in our worst seasons, we still win silverware. Prove it today. We need that. We need you lot to do that. Bruno Fernandes, we trust. I know Harry Maguire's got something for us, people. But yeah, man, that's all later. Again, let me know your thoughts on that. Smash the like button, etc., etc. Allegedly, Andrea Berta has spoken to 15 targets. Gyokeres rumors are still there. Real Madrid have thrown themselves into the ring where Nico Williams is concerned. And there's a bunch of other isms and schisms, man. So yeah, appreciative to you lot. Spurs have already got more European trophies than us. Don't want them to get their fourth one. Which is true. And to be fair, I'm only 30. Fans older than myself would have seen Spurs win a trophy. Well, a European trophy. It is what it is. But nah, man, you know, I just can't have Spurs getting involved in the agendas because that's when they start the power shift hype and this and that. And to be brutally honest, yeah, fuck Spurs. But I actually like Postecoglou. And for him, it would actually be wavy because he did say, I'll win a trophy in my second year. It does feel like Spurs are overruled. Don't get twisted, though. I've got the bookmarks ready. I see Son talking about, I've been here 10 years. I want to win a trophy. What's his name? Van der Ven speaking about, oh, people said I wouldn't win a trophy. I'm ready to run the band. I was seeing Spurs fans talking about participation trophies. If they don't win that, I'd rather have the Manchester City 5-1 and Real Madrid trophies than beating Bodo Glint. So yeah, man, rather United win any day of the week. You know, I don't tell people what to think, just think. But I have to wonder if you're an Arsenal fan and you're cheering for Spurs, you're dodgy, man. I mean, the same fans that were twerking for Spurs against City last season, they never learn. I know Riley's here chatting nonsense. 10 p.m. Pagans getting called, or it's a week-long D&D. Big up views on sport, man. Appreciate you. Message me on Insta. I'll check that in a bit, man. My Insta messages are turned off, man. You can imagine. I get a lot of love, but I get a lot of trolls, man. I get a lot of trolls, unnecessary trolls. Like the other day, someone was like, you're the problem with Arsenal fans. I was like, the hell? The fuck? Came won me a league. I'm not going to say the acronyms you're saying, Marcel, but need a parade in North London. To be fair, it could be dark because that's going to be on my doorstep. Could be a decent motive, though. Amarin, that's something for us. I'm not going to lie. If you lose a final to Tottenham Hotspur, you need to get sacked on the spot immediately. It is what it is. Nick, appreciate you. I see you in the comments. DG, we're getting Cunha. Just need a new gaffer and we're back. You want to get rid of Amarin already, especially if he wins your Europa League in 6 months. It's not his squad. He needs time. To be fair, though, if you lot get Cunha, you're linked with Cunha. Well, you're probably going to get Cunha, but Cunha, Eze, Mbuemo, and Gyokeres. If you get 3 of the 4 of those or whatever, you throw in the Ahmad there and Zerski's in the cut, your attack is somewhat better. You do need a centre mid or 2, in my opinion. I think you lot need some defensive reinforcements. And obviously, there's a lot for the manager in Ruben Amorim to get right. You also need to get rid of a lot of players, if I'm honest with you. A bit like Arsenal, you're carrying a lot of them, man. That is going to be an all-timer quote where you can drop the mic and leave. To be fair, if I'm Postecoglou, I'm cutting, bro. I'm cutting immediately. Like, boy, you lot employed Conte, you lot employed Jose Mourinho, 2 proven winners. When you think of those 2 names, you think of winners. But even though them man couldn't get you a trophy at your club, I did. I'm cutting out. I'm going back to Australia. I might even go Ajax or something, or just cut out for no reason. It's only down from there. But then again, you are in the champs and whatnot. My Buki people, hit the likes, please. Come on, shout my mods, man. Appreciate you, Sadiq. Written in the stars here, the underdogs. I think Spurs are going to win it, and it is what it is. You know, as much as it would annoy me, it is what it is. They earned the right to be to the final. Both teams have had a near enough perfect record. I know people can sour it down, but they did it in it, really and truly. Just for Arsenal to go and get one now. It's crazy if one team don't win, they finish 16th, 17th in the league, which is mad. It's mad regardless because, you know, it does. I wouldn't say it papers over the cracks because I couldn't tell you where I know we weren't there, but I couldn't tell you where Arsenal finished in the league when we won the league in 2014. Won the FA Cup in 2014, 2015, when we did it against Chelsea. I couldn't tell you that when Manchester United won the league, where they were when they won the Europa League last time, where they were. You get the point. Couldn't even tell you where Chelsea were when they won the 2 Champions Leagues and a couple trophies. So history isn't going to remember the league position, but again, it does paper over the cracks. It does somewhat mean the tears of this season it hasn't been in vain. You know, Manchester United and Spurs across a domestic campaign have been atrocious. You know, Spurs are up there for record losses. Again, you can win other competitions and you can micro scrutinize your performance across many positions, but the league, you know, you're playing 38 games, or you're going to see where you're at. I think both teams, if they haven't touched 40 points, it's a madness. It does paper over the cracks, but would you rather have a crap season? Somehow you've bandolied your way into the Champions League, or would you just have, you know, for the losers tonight, whoever that is, end of the day, you finish 16th, 17th, and Man United, I'm going to start calling them the gate crashers, man, because the whole reason they're in, and I hope they win it, but the whole reason they're in the Europa League is because they won the FA Cup. Not as crap as they were in the league that season to now, but they're there. They can gate crash their way into the Champions League. I do think there's valid claims about winning the Europa League, getting in the Champions League. But for me, I think it's good, really. I know it's, when you look at it like this, both teams are really and truly relegation form. They could be in Europe's elite competition, but I think it's a good reward. I'd rather the Europa League winners get a Champions League spot, if that makes sense, than what used to happen in the Europa League, in that teams obviously underperforming in the Champions League, they get relegated to the Europa League. I disagree with Wenger. I think it's a good carrot, man. And obviously, Man United and Spurs, mainly Man United, definitely not Spurs, big English teams and all of those things. And we know the finances, bringing in players, all of that kind of jazz helps when you're in the Europa League. I mean, in the qualify for the Champions League via Europa. But then, obviously, there's no underdog stories where you look at the Europa League this year. But, you know, Bodo, Clint, them kind of teams there, if they was to win the Europa League, I think that's a movie for them and their fans if they get in the Champions League. So I think it should be like that, if I'm completely honest with you. So yeah, man, that's just my thoughts, man. But it is what it is. We did a cup double in 93 and was 10th. Madness. Again, and that's the thing people aren't going to remember, bro. Like, especially more so for Spurs, because United win stuff. Man, they're not going to remember 20 years from now, oh, we were 16th, 17th, or some will. Nobody cares, because like, nobody genuinely cares. Nobody cares. It's about creating history. Every conspiracy theorist and superstitious don't have Spurs winning. I hear it, brother. I'm not going to lie. On one hand, I think, bro, Man United rock up there, do the business. But I do think year of the underdog. I do look at Spurs. I think on paper, United should be, I don't care how you do it, by hook or by crook, you should be winning. But it's not the FA Cup, but I've seen depleted sides. It's looking all mad. And then they go out there and do it. And at the end of the day, Spurs should be hungrier than Man United. Obviously, should be equally hungry. Man United know they've been underperforming. Don't want to lose a final to Spurs, but these players have won stuff. Spurs players are allergic to winning, so they should be hungry up. And I hope they crumble, man. Listen, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Man United, I need the scummiest of 3 points. I'm going to be doing a watch along on the Sun today as well with Spurs and a United fan, so I need to find a Norwich scarf. If Chelsea win the conference, what they get, imagine them losing at Forest and Villa and winning at Old Trafford. Dumb question, but if you win the Conference League, do you get into Europa League? I think Spurs have the better team, but United have a better mentality, in my opinion. United are more seasoned, probably know how to manage their emotions, I must admit. And again, maybe it's a game, but it feels like the Spurs players and the manager, they're a bit too not excited, but they're coming across a bit too insecure. It feels like the United, because I watched Amarin and Bruno, they're a lot more calmer. You know, my man saying I'm not a clown and this like that. The Spurs really have a better team. Really. Obviously, Spurs have a depleted 11 at this moment, or depleted squad. I don't want to hear anything about injuries. As an Arsenal fan, don't want to hear nothing about injuries. That's why you need a squad. But really, I don't know, you know, Marcel. Like, squad for squad, are we saying that? Or it's starting 11 for starting 11? I'd probably... Obviously, I sound biased because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'd probably lean towards Man United, you know. Obviously, Spurs have some... I wonder what my combined United Spurs 11 would look like. I do think Spurs have a couple of individuals that I'm like, yeah. Do they really? Maybe the back four. Maybe the defensive options. Van der Ven and Doggy. Thinking Doggy would get in United's team at left back if fit. I think Spencer's done all right this season. Midfield, really? I think Bruno would start. You lot know I'm a big fan of Maddison, but I don't think. Imagine having Bruno and Maddison in the same midfield. Crazy. It is meaty, but both teams are meaty. Look, Spurs aren't exactly little with quality. DG thoughts on Palace in the Europa League. Deserve it in at the end of the day, yeah. Like obviously, man want to win the Europa League for the Europa League points. So if you're in the Conference Europa or FA Cup, you want to win the trophy, obviously, because it's the trophy, but it's an added carrot and it's great for Crystal Palace. You know, again, you got a seasoned manager that's going to take you into the Europa League and FA Cup winner in Glasgow. It's good for the team. Obviously, Europa League, you don't make as much money as you do in the Prem, but for a team like Palace, it gets you finances. I do look at Palace though, because you've reached the, you know, like with when you win a trophy, arguably that's the kind of pinnacle type of thing. Do they have a deep enough squad for the Europa League and the Premier League? And again, we don't know what the futures of Eze and Gurhi and these players. Mark, big up yourself because you're always here. But a Spurs fan cannot bad to be about finishing second. You lot will give you a left, especially if you don't win today. You'll probably sell your sons and daughters to be bantered about finishing second. Allow it. And by God's grace, hopefully you lose. Arsenal fans will finally witness us lift this up. You see, guys like Mark, we can't have this United. And to be fair, I've seen Spurs win a trophy. I saw it in 08. Spurs is going to do Spursy today. I hope so, but I think Spurs are going to win, man. Again, hope I'm wrong, because my brain is telling me United are going to win. I wouldn't say my heart's telling me Spurs are going to win, but I'd be lying to you if I thought that they might just do it, man. I think it's their midfield that lets them down. That's where United can capitalize. Both teams concede some shoddy goals. Both teams are shaky defensively. Both teams go through the moments. I just hope Man United are more, ironically, United than Spurs at the moment. Spurs will be relegated next season anyway, so what they say don't matter. I don't think so, my boy, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? I think Chelsea will go into the Europa if they win the conference, yes, but they're close to a Champions League finish. The Champions League spots, it'd be interesting because Forest are still in with a shout. Mathematically, I could be wrong. Villa in with a shout. Obviously, said Chelsea. City, I think City are going to get it, but they've ran it to the wire, ain't they? Really and truly. Imagine that. You could have a reality where Spurs and United are in the Champions League and City aren't. Crazy, isn't it? But this is why we love football. Big up 72. You always commented, man. I swear, I might be making this up, but you was going heavy in the comments on one of my videos. Appreciate it, man. Keep it up. No Nico Williams for me. Massive wages and poor output this season. Less than Gabriel Magalhaes. Spurs. Oh, sorry, seen that already. But yeah, man, I think Palace deserve it. And again, for Palace, I always think about the fans, because I do think when we talk about football, we're very superficial. Like we're just talking about winning and trophies and can you win it. For Palace fans, that's a good day out, man. Well, good couple of days out. I don't know who they're going to join the Europa League, but you could be in Spain one week, Azerbaijan the next. It's good for them Palace fans, especially the season ticket holders that are up and down the country. It's good for them, man. They need a bigger squad, though. And this is a big season for Palace. As I said, if you lose Gurhi and Eze, you have to, every year Palace have them two players. You have to think about replacing them. They might even face a fight to hold on to their manager. There's a couple of Premier League managers that I feel won't be short of offers. Actually, ironically, even though I think Nuno Espirito Santo's done very, very well for Forest, he could leave his job. Areola at Bournemouth, he's probably got admirers. Who else is there? His name escaped me. Glasgow of Crystal Palace, he's probably gaining admirers as well. I mean, his track record's there. Like, he just ain't got like the name like that. We've already battered them 3 times. Manifest it, but you're by yourself manifesting that. Is the new European table format permanent? Are you talking about the Champions League thing? Expand on that question for me, my guy. Smash the like button and sub if you're new. DG's on his Yao Mao stuff, trying to win the YouTube Ballon d'Or. Trying to get to 70k subs, and we're flirting with it, man. We're getting a bit of motion finally. So big up yourselves, man. Big up yourselves. Oh, wait. The same year my son was born, he's 17. Flipping now. I keep thinking 08 was 4 years ago, but it wasn't. Yes, I am, mate. Love the content, my friend. Appreciate that. Love the fact that you love it, man. My guy. Noah Lang or Paxal. I prefer the Paxal guy, if I'm honest, but I'm not educated on either, man. Battered you won by 1 goal twice. Bro, Man United, even that, Man United, bro, you're letting Spurs. The same team that you took Berbatov and gave them Fraser Campbell, you're letting Spurs run rings around you. This stops today. Come on, Ruben Scammer win, man. Come on, man. Prove why you're wearing these designer stuff. Please. I need this. Liverpool saved, man, when it was the Champions League final. Spurs thought they were, I don't even remember who Spurs played in the final, but they sacked Jose and got battered in the League Cup. I need this. I need this. I'm sure when Spurs won in 08, they beat us 5-1, innit? There was what I think that's the. I mean, obviously, I've seen my team lose a lot of times to Spurs. Even well, a lot's an exaggeration, and I've seen my team win the league at your ground with your former captain. Be easy, but one of the worst Spurs defeats. I'm sure they smacked us in 5-1 once, and Bentner and Adebayo were arguing. They tucked us in. That might have been the year they won the League Cup, man. I don't know though, man. Football heritage, Man City beat them. Too many of these fake Arsenal fans online want Spurs to win today. I really don't get it. I can't lie, I hate football fans on social media. Not the normal people. I'm talking about what they call it, like the mutants, the mad ones, like especially the Arsenal ones, man. Because don't get twisted, Arsenal fans are mad, but I don't speak for no one but myself in it. I'm just an individual who happens to speak for who supports Arsenal and has a great platform with you lot. But it's like 10 crazy fans, like like the social media weirdos, 10 crazy fans. We're all tarnished with the same brush. One person says something, millions of us believe like that. And there's bare mutants. I see the Liverpool fans I know in real life or here are very different to social media. The same goes for Newcastle in particular now. And it's a bit weird. Like, I know Arsenal fans are mad, yeah, but maybe, and I don't care if people don't like us, yeah, and I'm used to traditional rivals not liking us, but when did it, like, why is everybody onto us? Like, I've seen Palace, Newcastle, bro, fucking Brighton. Like, I did a TikTok about João Pedro. Man is like, why would João Pedro leave for a smaller club? Shut the fuck up and go and beef Crystal Palace. I don't even know how that rivalry started. Allow it. Please. When did we start? And I don't mind it. Most hated and rated A's to be freeze. High Road will be popping off soon. Oh, that, see, even on my way home, man, that's my biggest fear. Like, jumping off at Tottenham High Road. Walking down and just seeing Alfie licked off his head in the pub. I want to see depressed souls in N17, man. I want Tottenham High Road to be as quiet as a mouse. Yeah, the semi-final League Cup beat us 5-1. Dark. It's like a meme to ish on us. But too many Arsenal fans bite the bait, though, man. I do think some Arsenal fans are... Listen, there's different subsections of fans in it. I think some are courageous losers, and I think some are insecure, man. The pagans don't like us. Stop forcing them to like us. I wish we lived in a world where everybody talked about everybody fairly, but who cares? I get their logic, to be fair, because United are a bigger threat moving forward, but I can't have Spurs winning. Nah, I did that. And what does it change? Man United are arguably the biggest club in England, give or take. They ain't been doing what they've been doing in the early 2000s. We've seen them win the Europa League before. We know they might be getting it wrong, but we know their ambition is to get back into title shouts and whatnot. We know this. Like, how much does winning a Europa League change anything, really and truly? There is no reality where an Arsenal fan should be ever cheering for Spurs, even if it was a mad world where I don't know how it would work. But let's just say us and Spurs are somehow fighting relegation. Somehow Spurs winning means we stay in the division, to which I would say I look forward to a 40-game season in the Championship. Never, ever can we go over them sides. Are you all prepared? Been given heads up for weeks. Going to be a typical 3 out of 10 window. Not kidding. We've tried coming and you know it. Shout at Gal, man. He's a madman. Oh, Liverpool fans do chattings. I mean, Arsenal fans do a lot of chattings. Liverpool fans are hell of it. The Liverpool social media fans are victims. You do make everything about them. Arsenal fans on social media are mad, but what we're not going to do is act like Arsenal fans are the only football fans that do all of that. Like, there's the Lulu and crazy people in all fan bases. And plus, big up Arsenal fans, but I can only speak for myself, innit? As long as I know who I am, boy, whatever you tarnish them lot with, that's what you tarnish them with. But yeah, no logic to that. I don't want either of them to win Europa League, but no to Spurs winning. I'd rather lose my fingers than them win. I'm not gonna lie, big up 72. I'd rather Spurs win than lose my fingers still. I for obvious reasons, I need these things. Get me? But yeah, imagine us in the Champions League alongside you lot next season. But hey, you would have deserved it. IDGAF, I'm not gonna say it about other teams at all other than Spurs losing. Just want Arsenal to win. That's it. I hear it. Smash the like button if you're new here, people. And even if you're not new here, man, we need to start getting in the habit of getting 100 likes. We've got 40. Big up to the 40 of you who've hit it. There's 150 of you in here. That means 60 more people. Mods, you're not doing your jobs. And obviously, one love if you're on Twitch, man. Should we see what's concerning our football club or the club I love? And some of you, big up. I see a couple of you that you just happen to like my content. I appreciate it. You don't even support Arsenal. Marcel and John Ant, we're United for 90 minutes, mate. So yeah, man, let's see what's going on in the world of football. Now, we've obviously been speaking about this for about 20 odd minutes. Europa League final settings. Again, football games are not won on paper, but Spurs have been given a 40% percentage or probability to United 60%. Boy, Boy, come on, United, man. You're going to let Liverpool win the league and you ain't got nothing over them sides. City got to a final and lost. You can do better than them. Come on, man. Getting bullied over there. Come on. And again, big up Miguel, but this was up here from last time. By now, just go and check out the shorts I've posted or the video I did with Miguel. I'm not into this no more. Like, I don't really care. Yeah, the points we had last year, this year would have won the league. It doesn't mean anything because we did not do it. No two seasons are alike. Does not matter unless you get over the line, essentially. So, yeah, that's all I will say on that. I'm not really on getting into that again. Chasing a dream has its ups and downs. You're right, Mikel Arteta, but 3 different years now, 3 very different seasons, different contexts, different everything. But the bottom line is we have not got over the line, nothing to scream and shout about. So rather than be harsh on individuals, I'm past the point of getting at the players and you and the club. Let's be harsh on the problem. Why haven't we won silverware? What has been the missing links? Go and add those links to the chain. And hopefully next May there's something in it, really and truly, man. To live is to suffer in it, but sometimes you want to win stuff. Now, apparently, again, the ITKs of this world are saying Andrea Berta is a busy man. In Berta, we trust people. Arsenal's transfer strategy for attackers has been for Andrea Berta to lay the groundwork on multiple targets so the trigger can be pulled on a unanimous decision. Berta has spoken to over 15 attackers and it will prevent a signing like Raheem Sterling. You become a negative connotation. And away from being disrespectful to Raheem Sterling, obviously, and I would extend that to Neto as well. We're running around on deadline day. It's not good in it, really. So, yeah, that doesn't mean we're going to obviously get 15 players, but I guess there might be top players, top class, world-class players, steady eddies, developments. We're just ready to move in whatever action. And this is what we need, Berta. This is what we need. In Berta, we trust, man. No interviews, no chatting. It's just serious, man. There's just something about him. Look at him. Does this look like someone to mess around with? Please, Arsenal, man. I know Inner Circle's here, and he said, make sure you're prepared for a 3 out of 10 window. Let's just live in some hope, my boy. Let's just live in some hope. Charles Watts has spoken as well, and he said, Andrea Berta can be a difference maker for Arsenal in the transfer market. There's no way around it. Why are you here if you can't be that? If you can't steady the ship in terms of outgoings, patting up the wages, bring in the qualities, be able to make something happen for us like in the January period or do what we need to do in the summer. Why are you here then? And I extend that to everyone. There's no messing about now. Everybody needs to sing from the same hymn sheet. Arteta, Berta, everybody. There's no hiding place. Berta, I exclude you because you just got here. Everybody's on borrowed time now. It's put up or shut up. There's been too much talking. Keep your mouth shut. Get the signings in. I thought the messages that were coming out from Arsenal around the Newcastle game on Sunday were very interesting. They certainly did very little to dampen the expectations of fans ahead of the summer. I mean, Arteta, you've been gassing it. You've been saying be excited and that in the last few weeks or days, better yet, you've been pivoting. You're like, I hope those above me do what they need to do type of thing. You had Josh Kroenke guaranteeing that the club would invest to strengthen the squad. I have no doubt you'll invest. But would the players be good enough? That's another thing. And you had Mikel Arteta insisting both before the game and afterwards that plans for the upcoming window were set and ready to be put into action. The line in Arteta's interview with Sky just after full time when he said, enjoy a few days off and make sure the ones upstairs, they do what they have to do was particularly eye-catching. It almost felt like a challenge from the Arsenal manager. And to be honest, that is no real surprise because he would have been as frustrated as anyone about the lack of business that was done in January. He was left woefully short of options, especially in attack. I mean, I hear that, and there is a degree of us having to make money, and I'm not saying keeping these players would have made any difference, but the Eddie Nketiahs, the Smith Rowes, the Fabio Vieiras, if you knew, because he has said, I knew the squad was short, why did you let them go? And there's no excuses, man. Again, I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, because I don't disagree, but I hate this narrative that Mikel Arteta is like a damsel in distress. Because, of course, we at one hand now, we know how the owners operate. We know they're not going to do what certain people do. And the bottom line is, if Arteta truly thought, regardless, you couldn't achieve or do what you need to do at this club, you wouldn't have joined it in the first place. You wouldn't have signed a new deal. And as much as I don't rate the Kroenkes, bro, they've been doing record spending under Mikel Arteta. Wenger never got this. So how far does that go? Everyone at this football club needs to back up their ideas. January, I do look at the summer. I think it's everybody. January, I do look at the owners, if I'm honest with you. But everybody's in this together, man. That can't happen again. He knows it, and I hope those above him at the club know it as well. So you sound like you're part of the coach house. All the noises we are hearing certainly suggest it's going to be a big summer at Arsenal. There's plenty of business to be done to strengthen a squad that is already viewed as being short in key areas. There are big expectations about what needs to be done, and that is why Berta was appointed as sporting director. The club see him as a difference maker when it comes to the market, someone who will allow them to get deals done that maybe they wouldn't have been able to in the past. There were plenty of other candidates for the sporting director position, and Arsenal believed all of those who got to the final stage of the process were capable of doing a fine job in the role. But Berta just stood out over the rest. They're delighted he has come on board and are very excited about the job he'll be able to do. I do think we'll see a significant summer at Arsenal. I mean, how many of these dons actually believe this, or how many of them are saying it because, let's be honest, you don't rock the boat too much. You're at the press conferences. You're bringing out books like in Charles what's his thing. I ain't hating. Get your money, do what needs to be done. But if you're in the pocket, how honest are you gonna be? And they might say, yo, put a little sweet in that, man, patting up the mood. Because we got to remember, these, like, everybody controls the narrative, you know. Like, not me, definitely not me, but the bigger Arsenal content creators, they control the narrative. The media, certain dons in the media control the narrative. If you were the club, like, yo, I'm giving you nice little press conference access and doing this and that, put a little sweetener out. You got to remember, all of this is kind of mind games. Everything is said in half truths. Everybody's got vested interest. So yeah, man, Berta stood out. That's great. João Pedro has been linked with us. Did you not see he's apparently had a fight as well in training? And I don't really care about that because I think if footballers having fights in training was reported every day, then every team, every player probably gets into stuff, people. But can see why maybe it wouldn't happen, man. If he signed him, I would be more on signing him for his versatility. Of course, when we find periods how we have in the second half of the season, you could play up front, or you could play up front, off the left, in the 10. I like the rage you kind of play with. I wouldn't be against it. Apparently, Arsenal looked at Cunha. Charles Watson said he's surprised that he's joining United. I'm not really. United's still a big club. Eze still linked with Arsenal as well as a bunch of others. We know about his versatility. The fact is as well that apparently he's got a year left on his deal and has a 68 million euros release clause. So yeah, João Pedro missing from Premier League clash with Liverpool due to altercation with teammate. So he's clearly been subject to some sort of discipline issues. What Gyokeres has told Sporting Squad amid Arsenal and Manchester United links. Gyokeres has kept the rest of Sporting Squad guessing over his future, telling teammates he's not a fortune teller, mind games. Specifically what has been said, people. Apparently, Pedro Gonçalves said the rest of Sporting Squad were still in the dark over what the future holds for their teammate. I asked him, and we all asked him. He says he's not a future teller. We still have the Portuguese Cup against Benfica to play. I have a very good relationship with him, but I don't talk about it with him. What I know is because of Fabrizio Romano, I'm sticking with him. I don't know if he's going to leave. What's going on here? Gonçalves believes Gyokeres is a different player to the one that arrived from Sporting. I feel like he's evolved a lot since he arrived. There are training sessions where it seems like he's holding back. Gyokeres and the rest of the Sporting dressing room have a huge desire to defeat Benfica. Okay, that's cool for you. We don't necessarily care about the rest. But yeah, he has been linked with United, who will take on Spurs tonight. If they get into the Champions League, clearly that's a bit more of a sweetener to get players, and financially it helps you out and all of that. As we already know, people, United also have more on the line tonight. L'Equipe report that the club will accelerate their pursuit of Sporting star Gyokeres should they win and qualify for the Champions League. There's a reality where they lose today and can still get him, or they win today and he still goes elsewhere. Gyokeres is one of Europe's most sought-after talents and a key target of Arsenal. After scoring 96 goals in 101 appearances in Portugal, having been signed by Ruben Amorim, the report claims United's interest is very active, while Arsenal are somewhat dragging their feet and yet to submit an offer, despite reports in Portugal that a deal was all but agreed and the player was expected to join the Gunners. But then we also here will see a conclusion on his future after that same said Portuguese Cup final. My thing is this. Yeah, like, only one team can get Gyokeres. Like, cool, you can't get Gyokeres. Make sure you get Sesko. And again, if Gyokeres, for example, goes to Man United, Sesko goes to Liverpool because he's been linked with them, that's cool. I really want Gyokeres. I actually like Sesko a lot. All right, they pick them clubs. That's their business. I don't want to hear we tried. Like, I don't know what striker. Make sure there's a number 9 in it. That's where I'm looking at. But there needs to be an ability to pivot, people. Everybody wants all of these players, man. So here's what it is. Ebola, apologies, earlier this week went as far as to report that Gyokeres was on his way to Arsenal after a 59 million fee had been agreed with Sporting, and with personal terms over a long-term contract expected to be a formality. Wednesday's report from France, which adds that Paris Saint-Germain are out of the running, entirely contradicts those. If United do have designs on Gyokeres, then Arsenal may want Tottenham to. But get off my screen. You don't know what you think I was supposed to win the Europa League just so we can sign Gyokeres. Come out of here, man. Don't say foolishness. Who wrote this article? Alex Young, you're moving mad. Anywho, people. I mean, is this potential mind games from Declan Rice? I don't want to be them social media fans, but he did hit the like button on Gyokeres' tweet. Maybe he just likes the look of him. Pause. Now, the ITKs, I'm not endorsing them. I'm not condemning them. I'm just simply providing some talking points with you lot. Apparently, Mikel Arteta had Zoom calls with Garcia last summer. I understand. The plan for Garcia was to be Arsenal's number 2, playing League Cup and FA Cup games. Arsenal's data team, the data team, sees goalkeepers as an underdeveloped market and good opportunity for value and profit. They learned from Arthur Okonkwo situation, a keeper who may return to the Premier League and should have been sold for a lot more. Is that where is he, man? What's that? Is it Wrexham? Yeah, he's at Wrexham, man, where they're doing the Moneyball thing. Carl Hine, who I don't think has a future here, is currently in talks with clubs. He's born on the same day as me, April the 13th. Understand that some within the club have doubts over his ability on the ball. He's not the truth, man. Shot that, man. Hine may go on another loan to a Conference League or Europa League side to increase his value before selling. Bro, just come off the wage bill, man. Told that Arsenal are targeting players they believe are currently undervalued but have significant potential, with Garcia, Benjamin Sesko, and Mbeumo all fitting that profile. Bring me Mbeumo regardless. If you get set, listen, bring me Gyokeres and Mbeumo, or Sesko and Mbeumo. Before Xabi Alonso told insiders he was leaving Bayern Leverkusen for Real Madrid, the German club had been in a strong position to sign Garcia. Since then, Newcastle United, Barcelona, Chelsea, and Manchester City have all emerged as potential destinations for the goalkeeper. Arsenal believe Garcia no longer sees himself as a number 2 goalie. Well, did I tell you a lot last year? So unless you believe he could really take Raya's spot, what's the point? And again, I don't know how much of a budget Arsenal have to play with, but if you're going to spend 60 odd million on Gyokeres, however much on Nico Williams, however much on Zubimendi, still need to probably reinforce the defense. Do you have 20, 30 million on the to go on a goalkeeper? I do have no doubts about his potential. Apparently, Victor Osimhen has snubbed the chance to move to Juventus, people. I reckon he's going to go to Saudi. But yeah, apparently Arsenal and Man United could still be in the race for him. PSG are still linked with him. He's got 75 million euros release clause, which is not valid for Serie A clubs. Is it just me, or does anyone else feel the boat's kind of gone on his one now? Like it just feels like you're gone, man. It feels like there's something dodgy. What's been said here? Arsenal are set to officialize, I've never heard that word before, a deal for Viktor Gyokeres next week. The Swede has overtaken Benjamin Sesko, becoming a priority signing for Mikel Arteta this summer. The report states that fresh talks are scheduled to take place after the Portuguese Cup final on May the 25th, with a view to finalising a move. Meanwhile, Monday's Ajogo front page featured Gyokeres with the headline, "On his way to Arsenal for 70 million euros." Football.London says Arsenal have been long-time admirers of Gyokeres and have followed his development closely. His stock is high, but the club have already done the hardest part, reportedly convincing the striker to join despite interest from many other clubs. They now appear close to sealing the deal, which would send a strong message about their intent and ambitions for next season. After a disappointing campaign, this season was marked by injuries to their strikers, not just to our strikers, and not just injuries. Don't try and just paint this season about injuries. It's a major theme, but this is where the narrative is dangerous, that if we just had everybody fit, everything's rosy. It don't work like that. You know, it's very easy to fall for that, but fair play, which ultimately cost them the Premier League title. They'll be determined to avoid a repeat at all costs. And Mbeumo, we've gone over that, people. We're still linked with him. Apparently, his ability to play both as a winger and a striker is an appealing asset for Arsenal as they look to strengthen their attack next season. Additionally, the Cameroon international has proven himself to be a consistent goal scorer in the top flight, whilst his pressing and intensity are qualities that would greatly benefit Arsenal's style of play. Fair play. Real Madrid have been linked with Nico Williams, people. Real Madrid are apparently not considering the signing of him, according to some. This is my information, and I respect that of my colleagues at Marsa. That's what's being said there. Although this article is saying that they're set to enter talks for the long-term Arsenal target, people who did once upon a time come close to joining Barcelona. You can't rule them out, but it seemed like Laporte kind of distanced Barcelona from making a move. Apparently, we tried to sign him 12 months ago. His preference has always been to remain in Spain, and he's on 170k a week, people, which equates to about 200k in terms of euros, people. We all know Real Madrid have been linked with well, they've got Hans Housen from Bournemouth. We all know they're still linked with Zubamendi, despite everyone believing that he's chosen Arsenal, and now they're being linked with Nico Williams, people. Apparently, the president of Barcelona said he was one of the candidates we were looking at when we were evaluating options. We have a good profile of this player, who is an excellent player, but I think at this moment they're evaluating other options. First, we have to assess what we have, and once we have done this analysis, we'll possibly reinforce some positions. Fair play. So it all depends what you read, people. You can air that. We've gone over the Gyokeres thing already. Arsenal apparently reportedly ahead of other clubs in the race for Gittins, and he's likely to cost 55 million euros, which is what, 49 million quid. Dortmund are in a strong position and not open to big discounts. They know the player is highly rated and are waiting for the right offer. Transfer talks are likely to intensify in the coming weeks. There will be new developments in the race. It remains to be seen how the situation unfolds. While the 20-year-old attacker is happy at Dortmund, he'd be open to taking up a new challenge this summer. The opportunity to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world would be quite exciting for him. Bayern Munich have also shown interest, but Gittins would prefer a move back to England. This gives Premier League clubs an advantage in the race for his signature, and apparently both Chelsea and Newcastle are keen on him, and as obviously Arsenal in the mix. Lyon have set a 40 million euros asking price, which has jumped up from about 22.5, people, which you see there for Ryan Cherky. Seems like everybody, whether it's City, United, Liverpool, Spurs, Dortmund, AC Milan, everybody but Atalanta, everyone but my football club is in for this star boy. It don't make no sense. Arsenal are prepared to offer Trossard a new contract during the off-season despite interest from Saudi Pro League clubs. At what point are we going to have to say, you know what, Trossard, you're not looking like you want to sign a new deal? What's going on here, people? I don't mind keeping Trossard as part of the squad. I think we need a bigger squad, and you as a rotation option, it makes sense. We're still linked with Rafa Leao. I must admit, I don't buy it. But yeah, in terms of things I don't buy, or to be fair, this could probably be one of the more realistic of the Arsenal links, because we seem to love bargain hunting at Chelsea. Christopher Nkunku is struggling for football, and apparently there's 6 clubs across Europe pursuing him. Are Arsenal genuinely interested, or is this creative journalism, people? He struggled for fitness and form over the past 2 years. We've said that about several attackers, so why add the next one to the mix? It doesn't make sense. But apparently the English publication claims that The Sun, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, who tried to get me in January, to be fair, and West Ham United are all interested in purchasing Nkunku this summer, while Atletico Madrid and PSG have registered their desire to sign him as well. Chelsea would prefer to sell him abroad. He's been linked with Atletico Madrid. Was he not linked with Bayern Munich? Good player, but you're one that, you know, beyond, it's dumb as it sounds, beyond being a good player, how do you help us? Like, what is your best position? Can you stay fit? Do you improve us? What's the wages? What's the transfer fee? It don't make sense. We only go for them kind of guys if everything we're doing doesn't work out, like, or everything we plan to do doesn't work out. Allegedly, Arsenal and Chelsea are reportedly both interested in signing Anthony Gordon for roughly 95 million euros, which equates to 80 million quid. He was linked with Chelsea before signing for Newcastle. We have heard David Ornstein say Arsenal admire Anthony Gordon. I don't think we're going to get him. You know, I mean, there's only so many times you can link us with Hijack and previously Gomares. There's probably a lot more players Newcastle would sell if they are close to this PSR stuff, even considering the fact that they got 20 million for Lloyd Kelly in January before they get rid of Gordon. I do think I overrate Gordon. I think he's a bad boy, just because I speak to Newcastle fans. Like, obviously, they watch their team week in, week out, and they agree with me that he's a quality player. He's obviously good. I reckon he's better than Martinelli, but they want to see greater consistency levels from him, people. Apparently, both our clubs are eager to sign a new left winger. We're both linked with Gittins and Nico Williams. We'll have to see. I don't really buy this, people. It's easy to do these links, but fair play. I've gone over that already, so I won't waste your time. Christian Mosquera, who plays for Valencia and is a centre-back that was previously linked with Arsenal. Apparently, Leipzig are interested in him, people. Arsenal and Thomas Partey started contract talks quite far apart in terms of finances involved, but it appears a decision will be reached soon. Arsenal are keen to agree a new deal, potentially a 2-year deal with signs that something will get agreed. So that means one less thing to do in the market. Frankfurt have qualified for the Champions League. Still, apparently, Hugo Ekitike has confirmed he wants to leave. Again, the Athletic said we have an interest in him. And if you can't get the Sescos and the Gyokeres, this is something you're going to have to explore. Allegedly, soon after Berto's arrival as the club's new sporting director, Arsenal held talks with Hugo Ekitike at Eintracht Frankfurt. You know, there was rumours that Luca Dean of Aston Villa was at the Emirates yesterday, people. Hay fever started to mash me up. And I mean, did you completely off topic, but on topic, but off topic? Former Frankfurt man, did you not see Marmoush's goal yesterday? Crazy. But yeah, on that, Frankfurt, in a matter of months to lose Hugo Ekitike and Marmoush, you probably made a handsome profit and a lot of money, but damn. So yeah, man, 84 million or in bracket, 84 million in brackets, 100 million euros. Viktor Gyokeres might be the wrong choice for Arsenal. Working with Arteta over the coming weeks and months, Berta's decision on who to sign as Arsenal's next big striker could be definitive for his whole time at the club. Not really, because I'm sure Berta probably got a lot right at Atletico and a lot wrong. Not every signing that we make is going to bang. Arsenal have waited so long to invest significant sums into a number 9. Arteta has only brought 2 since he arrived in North London. Gyokeres might not be the right fit for Arsenal, a conversation that is being had among the club's fan base. He might not, but why? This article isn't saying why it believes it. However, Berta seems convinced about Gyokeres, and perhaps Arteta will ultimately greenlight a move for the Swedish striker. Ekitike might be a better choice for Arsenal in the long run, but at the same time, the Gunners need someone who can succeed right here, right now. I agree with that part. We have been linked with Embuemo people, and those links aren't going away. What is this? Arsenal have been linked with Gabby Veiga, who us and Newcastle were linked with and are still getting linked with. He obviously moved to Saudi Arabia. I'm sure he's made a lot of money and he wants to head back to European shores. He's contracted until the end of the 2025-26 season, so it could be a little cut price move. Atletico Madrid, Napoli, Newcastle, and Arsenal have also been linked. The Magpies are said to have initiated contact with his camp. Such a football manager signing like that. This actually happened in Football Manager. Liverpool apparently will have to sell one of their current forward options before considering a deal for Ryan Cherky. So can we get involved in that and accelerate things? What else is there concerning my football club? What's this? Okay, we'll look at that. We'll see that. Let's go here. Change to the last hour. What does this mean? What does this mean? We've gone over Gordon. I mean, we were linked with, to be fair, he's doing well in France. If we're going to buy players from Chelsea, might as well get young players with a bit of upside. Smash the like button. Chelsea are ready to cash in on Andre Santos as Arsenal and PSG eye moves for the player who could leave Stamford Bridge without playing a game. Harsh, innit? They signed him in 2023 and he ain't really, he went to Nottingham Forest, didn't get game time, but it just shows how football is a funny old game of opinions. Couldn't get game time. Now he's playing. We've got 81 likes. We're flirting with 100 people. So yeah, what is this asking price? It was reported about a month ago that was interested. Completely off topic, but Todd Burhi, I watched Bloomberg. He was actually saying footballers. I don't remember why he was talking on Bloomberg. It weren't anything necessarily to do with football, but he was just saying footballers play too many games. Apparently, Chelsea are unlikely to give him an opportunity and recall him. To be fair, they spent 18 million on him. And he's valued at 50, could make a quick prof. Barcelona did want him previously. It never happened there. What is the asking price, though? I'm going to assume 50 million because it's not saying fair enough. What's this? Arsenal have made a 10 million per year contract offer to a Real Madrid and Barcelona transfer target. Nico Williams, surely. Oh, fair enough. Gyokeres. Okay. So he's got a 10 million per year offer. Odd be to sign for us, which equates to about 192,000 per season. Fair enough per week. Apologies. What's this about? Big up yourself, man. Haven't been on the pitch for all our 37 games, but hey, trust out because of injuries. You played a lot of football, ain't you? But I ain't finna read that. What's this? Arsenal's transfer plans have taken a hit. Oh, there is Real Madrid. Okay, they've joined the race for Nico Williams. So you done me there, didn't you? That appears to be it, people, where the transfer news is concerned. Big up Aaron Talks Arsenal. Smash the like button, people, as the man said. Make sure you're following his YouTube platform. Appears to be everything. Arsenal haven't picked it up yet. To be fair, you don't know what all the clubs are doing in the background. And I hope we're doing things in the background. As I always say, I'll talk about Arsenal day in, day out. And I'll reserve any strong opinions until the end of the market. But once that transfer window's ended, don't tell me we tried for a striker. Don't tell me we tried to address certain areas. Make sure you've done it, innit? Because then we have a lot to say. Can we at least get one marquee signing? We pray and we hope, man. If Gyokeres is wrong for Arsenal, that's a gamble they should be willing to take. After all, Havertz was shit and they brought him. Likewise, Zinchenko and Jesus both were awful at City. Bit harsh to say they were awful at City. Vega feels like a Vieira signing. If Arteta wants any more Chelsea scrubs, rip up his contract tomorrow. People still living off what Nkunku did in the Bundesliga. He's not the same player. Allow the Chelsea scrubs, man. Sometimes it's almost clear who we should sign considering the market chances, but we missed them all. Like Hato or Frimpong going for 30, 40 million. There are others as well. We are just shit on it. To be fair, I like Frimpong, but I'm not really keen on that. Hato, agreed. Career ruined at Chelsea. Also, injuries had an influence on Nkunku. Appreciate you, my guy. He needs a haircut before he signs for us. Damn. Gordon will stay at Newcastle. It's silly season, man. Like, it's easy to just make up these links. You know, you never know. Stranger things are happening. Still waiting on the Sterling refund. We don't deserve a refund. We bumped ourselves. Like, we scammed ourselves. The good thing I can say about Sterling is he's not signed permanently, innit? That's Chelsea. That's one more problem for Chelsea to deal with in the summer. His best position is a 10. I hear it. Needs to stay fit, man. Deluded, we need your support tonight. That comment's gone. But if you're talking about Man United, I'm there, man, for 90 minutes. For 90 minutes, I'm on loan. But the minute you lot lose, if you lose, you lot are by yourselves. We're making an excuse culture. Sad to hear players talking about it. And Buemo would be a decent and adaptable player for us, similar to Jesus, but more prolific. Let's indeed get to 100 likes. Visa's bagging. I mean, surely Brentford don't lose Buemo and Visa. To be fair, if anyone can replace these players, it's the Brentfords and the Brightons. They know how to find these talents, but surely you can't lose both. And I'm sure Brentford fans have probably said it, but I've not heard anyone at Brentford or any non-Brentford fans say, yeah, they miss Ivan Toney. So it's testament to players and their recruitment. I would take Nico Williams. Road to 70k, smash the likes, people, and subscribe. Come on. Big up the mods. Bring in a new manager. I hear it, but we're not going to get a new manager. Realistically, Arteta's here at least for another year, innit? He's just fresh off a new deal. Like, whether we like it, love it, think he should be under more scrutiny, whether we think he's a damsel in distress, he ain't going nowhere. It is what it is. I remember clearly when you took over the majority of Arsenal shares, I said it then, this club is doomed because them man don't know about football, just NFL and basketball. That's the priority for them. To be fair, you see Kroenke getting rid of managers in other domains. They don't care about football like that, man. But I don't think you can just blame them. I'm not a big fan of the owners, but if I take away what I think an owner should be and what I'd want, clearly I would want, you know, an Abramovich or how the Saudi man move and whatnot. But if I just accept them for what they are, they put people in position, they have made money available and we fumbled it. Like, I don't think you can just blame the Kroenkes, just blame Arteta, just blame this, just blame that. Everybody's in this. It's all different ingredients in the meal. And the meal that's being served is us not winning silverware. I'm convinced that if Man U win tonight, Gyokeres will end up there. I mean, I like Gyokeres, but just make sure if he doesn't sign for us, we move on, innit? I think United's wage bill will get out of hand if they win and get Champions League. I don't think they'll be able to afford more than Cunha. To be fair, it looks like Radcliffe, that's one of the first remits, just stripping everything back, really. So I think they're going to have to, I think that's a mandate for them. I don't think they can be as flexible in the summer transfer market, but I think they'll surprise their fans, if I'm brutally honest with you. Many players we've made mistakes on. We can't sell water. Damn. If we don't get Gyokeres, I'll be disappointed. If we don't get Gyokeres, just keep it moving, innit? Make sure you sign someone. If we don't get Gyokeres, that will prove how serious the club and the owners are. It's the same-ish every year for over 20 years. Just get the firepower. I mean, it's ironic we're called the Gunners, and we've been, you know, we've all heard about keeping the powder dry. Now the powder needs to be wet, innit? Bust your gun in the transfer market. Sesko, useless to Giraffe. I wouldn't want that guy anywhere near my club. To be fair, yeah, if you signed him now, I think with Trent, he would have cooked. I like Sesko, man. I want Gyokeres because it's win now mode. There's no waiting for a couple of years. You're right now kind of thing. But I wouldn't be disappointed if Arsenal signed Sesko. I'd be a bit disappointed because obviously, like, you got your heart set on Gyokeres, but I think people are being a bit harsh on Sesko. He isn't pretty. He is going to need to learn. I am looking at him funny because on one hand, yeah, you know what? You scored 21 goals in Bundesliga. The move, whether it's to Arsenal, Chelsea, United, and it's one thing us not rating him. Clearly, the football world does. You know, you wanted to stay another year, but then I look at it. Did you really think you couldn't play ahead of Kai Havertz last year? I'm not dissing Kai. I'm like just going back to the summer. Really? Any striker that thinks they can't disarm a makeshift striker for their spot, I'm looking at them very funny. The problem is Arteta, before he was the main man in the transfer market, now it's better. All that miss is going to be fixed in just one transfer window. I don't think that's logical. It's not going to get fixed in one, but let's start to step in the right direction. If Spurs don't win, they ain't attracting nothing good. I think they're gonna lose Romero regardless. You see him twerking to get that move to Spain. We're fed up with the we tried now. We need confirmations, no excuses. Brother, no excuses. There's no we tried. I don't want to hear about powder dry, market opportunity. Make sure you get that striker. You know, it's like, I'm not saying any names. Go after all these guys. Make sure you get the striker. I keep giving this example. Like, do you remember when we signed Partey? And like we needed an 8 and a 6, depending on where you was. I want I want an 8, I want a 6. But we all know we needed both. That's the scenario. There's no get a striker and like, is it a striker or a left winger? You need to get both. You need to know, you know what you need to do in midfield. You know what you need to do in the defensive units. You know who you need to get rid of. And I'm not expecting everybody to go, but you need to make significant movements. You need to do everything you can. You need to exhaust your options. I need to see my team when the first game of the Premier League season comes in and say, you know what? I don't know how the season is going to go, but I feel we've improved our squad. Maybe, just maybe, we can go one better than the previous 3 years. That's it. Because I keep saying this, had we have done everything we needed to do in the summer and our players dropped like flies, obviously we'd have to review how that happened. But I'd say, you know, fair enough. The intention was there. It just merely highlights the amount of bodies that have been dropping this season, the incompetence and the complacency of last summer. I heard Radcliffe doesn't want United to win because of the bonuses players like Casemiro has in his already massive contract. But hope I found that hope believes all the gas. When the gas doesn't light, the hope goes away. Sorry, DG. You turn into a poet. Arteta definitely not signing Pedro, then forget about it. Man fighting teammates. But who's being told not to do streams, bro? Do streams with anyone. Stop and like the video, people. Rivals, like the video and your team will win a trophy. I'll just wait and see. We've been here before. Omar, we have, innit? I heard him talk about having a school squad, but I think he wants a school squad. He can't handle too many players' egos. I don't think he wants the most massive squad, like 25, 26 players, but I do think Arteta wants a bigger squad. Then even if you don't go, you need it. You need it. You need it. This summer, Arteta needs Arteta needs to be given not what he wants, what he needs. You don't need any players that can play everywhere, like especially attackers. You need a cold-hearted killer number 9. We need to go back to basics now. If Josh comes out and makes a speech, you know it's going to be BS. Just stay in the shadows, brother. Everyone's tired of it now. I'd love Eze as well, my boy. Gyokeres would also be hijacked tomorrow. Berta is hardcore. He don't mess about, so I do trust him to deliver. Arteta's job depends on it. 15 targets, what a day. Not a clue. I take Rodrigo over Nico, so would I. Arsenal certainly have to have something cooking. Why appoint Berta and still have the mick out of us fans? Crossing my fingers for a decent summer. I'm past crossing. Just show me, innit? I don't want to listen. I don't really want to hear it from Josh Kroenke, from the Arteta. Just do what you need to do on the pitch, and obviously in the summer, do what you need to do off it. The time for talking is dead now, man. I know there's some fans that are Arteta sexuals and some that hate the guy. I think both are wrong, if I'm honest with you. But there's a lot of fans that are in the central ground and they're like, you know what? I might not have liked you, but you've got us here. Or I might like you, but we're not getting over here. Or, you know, them fans that could have been angry about everything. They bought into everything at the football club in the last 2-3 years. Now you need to convince them again because you're on a joke thing. I'm not like certain fans are going to just hide behind, oh, even with the injuries, courageous losers, 2 semis. No, the club have lied. They lied. They did not put their best foot forward. They did not. You don't have a summer like that. You're not serious. You don't have a summer like that. And I wouldn't say more importantly than last summer, January told me everything I need to know beyond those above Mikel Arteta and the players. You hung them out to dry. So I'm looking at Kroenke and them, man, very funny. Like the shirt, DG. Come on, my guy. Appreciate that, man. You had 500 live viewers yesterday, DG, popping off. Try it, man. Appreciate it. Without people like you, Mazza, 100% DG. Both fan bases have delusional fans. Because the problem with social media, bro, like we're not in that space of just logical fans. It's all rage bait. It's all segments cut up out of context, designed to make man mad. Because as humans have not learned, me included, to just ignore stuff. People will not like. I even see it on my YouTube. People are not logical, you know. People will say, "Oh, I fucking hate Deluded. I hate his YouTube, and I don't want to listen to him." Most logical people, if you hate me or anyone, you just turn it off. Go about your day. Watch people you want to. But there's people that will comment every day. So that's the human behaviors. It's never gonna stop. Exactly, DJ. And this is why a gal's not. Hey, no. Hey, a gal's an Arsenal fan, man. He's just a madman in the circle. He's very passionate, man. And for me on my platform, I mean, I must admit, YouTube's annoying because I'm a big fan of everybody's allowed an opinion, you know, as long as you can convey what you want to say. I'm not saying I agree with it, but as long as you can convey what you want to say in a way that people can understand, fair play. I'm not just going to get people who think like me and a bit more like centralist. I'm not just going to get Arteta sexuals. I'm not just going to get people Arteta out. Life would be boring if we all looked the same, spoke the same, agreed with everything. It'd be boring. And for me, like I've got friends that might be like Igal or Troops or Lee or Turkish or this one or that one. We've all got them. You've got fans that are a bit more apologetic, fans that are a bit more ruthless, people that have quote unquote barbershop opinions. It makes for good content. It makes for good discussions. And for me, I'm a big fan of, you might learn something from someone. I might not agree with someone who's overly Mikel Arteta out, but then there's certain points I agree with. I definitely don't agree with everyone that's Arteta sexual. He's the best thing since sliced bread. We're gonna gas it. And then when we lose, it's everybody apart from Arteta. But they might say some things I'm like, oh, you know what? I agree with that. Just try to give you a lot of content, man. But it's just, you move to the left, people say, why are you walking left? You go right, why are you walking right? You jump, why are you jumping? You walk, why are you not running? It is what it is, man. He girl's an optimist. Yeah, man, he's an optimistic brother, man. Shout out, girl. Shout out, man. And to be fair, I think yesterday was a good stream, man. I was watching it back. It's easy to be negative, and in a lot of cases it's justified, but there's a balance that needs to be struck. It's true, but then I also think, yeah, there's people that when we're winning and everything's great, nobody says stop being overly positive and that. And then when we lose or things are negative, I think there's some people that have an inability to just call it for what it is, talk about things, and then they say all of that. You always hear me say, we're not as good as in life. You're not as good as you think you are when things are going well. You're not as bad as you think you are when things are going bad. I don't believe everything at this football club is full of shit and it's all crap. I believe we're at a point where we're not getting over the line. The bottom line is getting over the line. Why on God's green earth are we bantered about not winning trophies? Obviously, we have to hold our licks. But clearly, if people, I guess they're running agendas, but if people believe there's an inability for us to get over the line, we must be a half decent team if we're in these conversations. We're just effing about. And it just makes for good content, Marcel chatting shit. Look at this guy, man. I hate this deluded guy. All he does is come on YouTube and waffle. I don't even know why I tune into this channel. He's just an armchair expert. I am an armchair expert, man. Anyone's going to think Marcel's an actual troll. I definitely am. Will any Arsenal fan celebrate when we win the Europa League tonight? Are you united? The wee thing's scary. If Spurs win today, then Arsenal are the longest without a trophy in the Big Six. Well, we're gonna have to change that, innit? It is what it is. That they would have ended a 17-year drought. We've been on a 5-year drought, but it is what it is. Just have to change that. Have to hold that and change that. If we didn't want that, then the players. And again, the club, because I actually feel sorry for the players. They're the ones playing out there. Whether I rate any player that plays for my football club or not, I rate you lot. I think you lot, every one of you, newfound respect for you. I think you lot have been running to the ground. Man, have played with injuries. People have rushed themselves back. I don't think those above you have helped you. I don't think there's been enough rotation. But the club, you're seeing Newcastle do their thing. You're seeing Palace. You're seeing Liverpool. You're seeing a couple other teams. And we ain't got nothing. It's you lot who had to do the guard of honor. It's you lot who saw what happened in 2022-23. It's you lot who flirted with getting the Premier League on the last day of the season last year. It's you lot's fault. Like, it's you lot. Because you lot are not necessarily the players. Obviously, the players could have done better. They're the ones playing. But as a club, you lot didn't put your best foot forward. You lot can't say, when you see these, whoever wins whatever trophy, you lot can't say we exhausted all our options. We truly did all we can. That's all I ask for in life from these players, you know, and myself, let alone the team. If you've done all you can on the transfer market, all you can on the pitch, and you weren't the best men on the pitch or off it, fair enough, back to the drawing board. But I don't believe that's the case. Now, no watch along today. Well, I will be on a watch along. It's not of sorts. I'm United, DG. Yeah, come on, it's Spurs. They ain't winning the trophy. Ryan, please. I hope you're right, man. You lot are the Red Devils. Whatever you lot do over there, make sure it happens, man. Because I don't feel as nervous. But it's like, you remember when the Spurs got to a Champions League final, it was versus Liverpool. I was up here in terms of nerves. Here, it's more like this. Because surely United, man. Come on. Big Man United. Come on. 1-2, because we haven't won a Prem for 21 years. We've become the joke amongst the big clubs. Upcoming clubs like Newcastle and Villa, or any club that wins a trophy, have a go at us because of our banner area. Is what it is. You don't want to get laughed at, win trophies. And I don't care about laughing, bro, because at the end of the day, I don't really care about outsiders praising us or critiquing us. I actually think we're not amazing. I think we've got a decent team. The top 6 records there, beating Madrid's there. There's some good things, but we're resting on our laurels. We've stagnated and regressed, and we're not realizing our potential. I'm not saying we're going to go away and everyone's going to get better, but everybody's ambition in the Prem is to be competitive. 3 golden opportunities. Didn't put your best. I believe in that saying, you start as you mean to go on. We didn't do that in the Prem. Bare regression in the Prem. The only thing I've learned this season, and again, going back to what I said, why I rate the players, is you lot have shown me a new level of adversity, purely just the players. Arteta, I haven't seen evolution from you. The board, excluding Berta, haven't seen what I needed to see from you. And we're still talking about the same things. We're going into gunfights with blunt butter knives. Respectfully to Trossard and Martinelli, we know them and they're purple patch players. They're going to get goals and whatnot, but they're not going to do it for the majority of the season. We know the squad's tiny. We know we don't have a consistent plan B. We knew about low blocks. We knew we needed quality to the starting 11. We knew we needed bigger depth. We knew there's nothing we discovered this year that we never knew coming into this year. If nothing changes, you know? So everyone at the club needs to slap themselves. And I feel sorry for the players. I genuinely feel sorry for the players. Got Declan Rice coming out there in January. I'm sure we're going to sign players, man, because Tini's playing left wing. Those who say that on a daily about content creators are just attention seekers. If they moan about what others are doing, I'm the same way. If someone don't like me or I don't agree with them on things, they're entitled to their opinion. But I'd rather keep away than bust case with them. I hear it. And for me, I appreciate the praise. I appreciate the constructive criticism. I appreciate the hate. I just look at it like this. Like we're praising and critiquing footballers and talking about football. Who would I be to sit here and cry about whatever people are saying? I think there's something to learn. Even in the harshest comments on my YouTube channel, I always try and decipher them. But as long as they're talking in it, and just who cares? Like, it just really don't matter. We sold to buy this season. Hopefully the talk of only having 100 to spend is a negotiating tactic. Advising you have 300 million to spend doesn't help you negotiate. I don't believe the 100 million thing. And who knows, man? Didn't they say that the year we signed Declan Rice? Brother, you can't compare lower ranked clubs to us. We're not the same. When you ride Rolls Royce, you can't start comparing yourself to C-class Mercedes drivers because they got a 25 plate, not the same. We ain't got no petrol in the car though, man. Or we can't afford the MOT. They're saying the gearbox is 6 bags. It's our fault now. If Spurs win, Arsenal better win 3 trophies next season. This is embarrassing. I don't know about 3. Let's just get 1. And that's the more annoying thing, like. Too much people are committed to hating Arteta. Too much people are like, let's be honest, Arteta has a cult, man. Like, he has a cult. And you know what's you know what the saddest thing is? I'm a big critic of Arteta, but I'm also a big fan of him in general, isolated as a manager. Like, obviously, the difference with me is, bro, I support Arsenal. What's going on? And I don't believe you can't gas him. And then when we're not doing things, there's just bare excuses. There's a lot of people that are loyal to the gaffer. Arteta's defo, a stoic. He's defo read 48 laws of power. I admire it because there's certain, oh my God, the way some people ride out for Arteta is crazy. Like, I'm not saying don't back the manager, don't have your opinions. If you believe in the guy or don't believe in the guy, that's your business. But it's like, it goes beyond the support of the club. Like, you would think Arteta, this is Arteta's football team. And I think both sides are wrong, man. It's weird, man, more than anything. It's a gaslight operation. Sack the manager, cause chaos. Have you seen much of Fabio Vieira, DG? I'm not watching Porto. It seems like he's a bit hot and cold. Don't think he's pulled up any trees on loan. The Arteta cult will shift to any new manager. Wenger Colts wasn't even that massive. The saddest thing is, yeah, Wenger got killed for less, bro. Like, Wenger got killed for less than a lot of these things. And for me, it's the simple thing of you can't, and this is a safe space, Arsenal fans, you can't say Arteta is one of the best in the league, generational, this, that, and the third. And then when things go right, praise him, which deservedly so. But when things go left, it's everyone's fault but him. Man start making crazy scenarios in their head. And I'm not saying they're wrong. Like, oh, the board didn't back him. They didn't give him. He was asking for players. He was doing this. I'm not saying you're wrong about that, but was you there? Like, was you there? Because there's that could be right. But there's also the sense of maybe they were saying, yo, take this player, that player. You don't want it. At the end of the day, you're managing Arsenal Football Club. You're getting 15 million a year. You're showing me good things. You know, your second year as a manager, you're getting to a semi-finals. If Saka, we all rate Saka, right? The same Arteta sexuals. They rate Saka, right? If he scores for 10 games in a row, doing your thing. If you go, God forbid, if he goes on a 10-game drought, what's going to happen? It feels at times like Arteta's a bit rated like Phil Foden. Like, he gas man for doing half turns, but he never turns up. I like the gaffer, man, but love my club more, bro. And I think Arteta is going to be a good manager. Is a good manager, actually. Gonna win stuff in his career, but I only care if you do it at Arsenal. You know, I don't care if you win 15 Champions Leagues in a row and Tour de France and everything. If it's not at my club, I don't care. But it feels like people are loyal to that. And I get it in the media because you don't rock the boat too much. You're cool with the club. You're in there. You're involved. But there's a lot of YouTubers twerking, bro. Like, and both are liars. But again, 48 laws of power. You need to play on people's need to believe in a cult. You need to play on people's fantasies. And a lot of people are dream sellers. As I always say on my platform, I don't tell you what to think, just think. You can think what you want, just think. Don't let no one blindly tell you anything. Could be Postecoglou blaming Moles and admitting to match fixing. Damn. Vieira better in the 8. I don't think he's good enough off the ball for Arteta, and I think he's too hot and cold. And I wouldn't even say it's a lightweight thing with Fabio Vieira, because there's bare small man in the Prem that don't get brushed like him, but he's a bit too lightweight, man. All our major transfer business is public knowledge for 10 months in advance. You're just asking for details to be hijacked. It's frustrating. But 2 semi-finals, it's a madness. But what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? And this is why I keep saying it's a mixed bag. I don't think we're as amazing as some people make out. I definitely don't think we're mad shit. We're clearly not. Like, obviously, Arsenal have off days. I'm not saying we're the biggest and baddest. The challenge now is to go from a good team to a great team. But you cut the crap, yeah. You cut the crap, and you ask people in football. You go and like Onslaught laughing, winning the title. Maybe not ask him now because he's probably drunk. But you go and ask them. Arsenal's a difficult game. It clearly is. It's not a little joke man game. You know it's a difficult game. You know at times why do you think everybody's sitting back against us? But this has to translate to something. There's no point being a good team. You need to be a great team. I'm not necessarily going to remember any of you in the next 3 years collectively as a bunch of players. And I feel sorry for the players. I think the players deserve it. They've obviously shot themselves in the foot. They need to think of stuff. But I feel sorry for them. When I'm seeing Timber post ACL managing another injury as well, and I'm seeing Ben White rushing himself back, Saka the same, Declan Rice the same. As good as it was to see Marino get a bit of run of form and do his thing against Madrid, you're a centre midfielder playing up front against Real Madrid, where you've had a tough season. People have been onto you. I've got a newfound love for Kivior. I still don't think he's levels like that, but you've shown me something. You've stood up to be counted. Young Lewis Skelly, 18 years of age, come into this thing. Declan Rice has never hidden. Don't think the world of Trossard and Martinelli. Clearly, we're struggling. They've stood up to be counted. I feel sorry for every one of those players. The fans and the players get the sympathy because I think they deserve it. They deserve more. Gaffer, you get a little bit of sympathy, but you get a lot of criticism because you ain't evolved. You ain't pivoted. You need to learn from your mistakes. You need to evolve. People above you, what the fuck is going on? Pardon my French. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Everybody needs to sit and reflect and use this to try and go better next year. On a positive note, Ben White looked closer to his best against Newcastle. Nice to have him back. I think for Ben White, it's a step in the right direction. It's a next season thing, man. I'd prefer Gyokeres because it's a right now thing. It's win now mode. But if we did get Sesko, I'm not going to cry. But I want Gyokeres before that. Fabio Vieira isn't good enough. Waste of 30 mil. Yeah, signings go wrong. Ain't. Arteta deserves his criticism, but I like him. He's doing good. Not well. He needs trophies next season. His peak. There's 2 projects, Project Arteta and Arsenal going on at the same time. And at some point, you're going to have to cut the cord. I don't know why Arteta wants Sesko instead of Gyokeres. It's not like Arteta's got 2-3 more years to win something. He needs to win the Prem or CL next season or he's super gone. Is he necessarily gone if he doesn't win the Prem or the Champs? he probably have to win a League Cup. But even if he wins nothing next year, and we don't know how next season's going to play out, the reasons as to why we did or didn't win, is he necessarily gone? Because these were the things, I'm not saying you, but these were the things nobody could predict this season was going to play out. The highs and the lows was going to play out like this. But that was the talk. We need to get over the line. Guys need to leave. Fast forward 12 months. Where we at? Striker plus Odegaard solution. If both aren't addressed, we're right back where we left off. Odegaard has been sussed out, needs serious competition to find a new gear. Kivio's been good. If the club thinks they can make a profit, then go for it. But other than that, selling him what we bought him for is useless. Dedicated, wasted time. The only reason I think Kivio would go is because I think he wants to go play football, man. But Kivio, you stay and be part of the squad. Try to be no less than an EPL trophy next season. If that doesn't happen, serious questions need to be asked about everyone at the club, starting from the owners. But the owners are not going nowhere. Like, you can't force. Listen, if anyone wants to protest and do all of that, great. But the owners not going anywhere. They've survived deep, darker times at this football club, the Super League, a lot of other times. This is first world problems now. And for every fan that might want to be critical of the owners or the manager, there's also fans that are quite disagree, but quite divided. You could probably get 100 fans that would do the Arteta out and Cronky out protest, and another that will be there singing "We Got Super Maker Tata." Oh, mate. Sorry, I've seen that already, man. Big up Fury, man, my guy. Ben White is a bit like a limited version of Jules Condé. What only matters is us winning and getting better. With Arteta, we got better and hit a ceiling. Very poor 750 million. Now we need another project basically to get a different ceiling. Boy. So if United win tonight, they're going to get Gyokeres. I want to puke. They need to be pressured still. They're the worst owners on the planet. I hear that, but what pressure? I'm not trying to sound defeated, but what pressure? Because you can scream and shout outside the Emirates. What if Josh Kroenke's on the other side of the world? And even if he wasn't and he's at the Emirates and he can see this out the window, then you just close your window. I'm not even trying to be disingenuous. Will you just close your window? Because all these men and women, young and old, they have to go home at some point. People need to go work. People need to look after the young ones. And again, like, I'm not criticizing anyone, but if anything, it's easy to do it, this out thing, and get rid of the owners when everything's going wrong. When things are going right, are people still going to do it? By all means, whoever wants to go do that, man. But I can't. Kroenke's not going nowhere, bro. Like, let their pockets feel it. That's the pressure they need to feel. I hear that, but you know how it is with the apparel and all these things, man. And we're at that period now. It is what it is with the season now. Whatever happened. Whatever didn't happen. New season optimism, new kits, wavy kits. It is what it is. No one's bigger than the club, 1,000,000%. No one. Even if fans, not all fans are quite, it doesn't feel like all fans believe that. At the end of the day, Arsenal are doing what they're doing. The board is looking at the future and the fan base is looking at the present. This is the difference. But they've got no choice but to look at the future. Like, we can look towards the future, but the future isn't here. We can only deal with the present. At this present moment, this is what we have to talk about. Wenger cult was earned. I hear that. I support Arteta, but he loses his marbles sometimes. And that's the frustrating thing, I agree. Overthink. The thing with me is I can criticize the players, the manager. You see, once you play a game or you're part of this club, we're with you. But we're not idiots. Overthinking things and being too stubborn at times. Not to mention he had some awful signings. He has to fix them things. He needs to pattern up, man. DG, where did you get that retro Arsenal kit? In all honesty, I think a few years ago, Adidas like made a bunch of remakes. And I got it on adidas.com. I think I did still. I don't know if they're still doing it and whatnot. But yeah, man. Sometimes you just have to sit back and appreciate the problems you have. We don't sign Gyokeres, then Arteta out sack my manager, looking new manager. I mean, I'm not gonna say sack you if you don't get Berta, if you don't get Gyokeres in it, but you do have big decisions to make, and everyone at this football club needs to deliver, man. I don't care about selling either Trossard or Martinelli. Wanyeri should be able to play instead of them and give him all that game time. Would have liked Wanyeri to get some more games, especially as we found ourselves in this period. You know, it's always a learning curve for these young players. Arsenal not winning a trophy for over 21 years, Prem, is a direct result of owners not making trophies a priority. Didn't they say they bought this club not to win trophies? It's just facts. Ever since they took over, we've won nothing. That says a lot. Sometimes I think about when the first initial shares were bought, and I think about when David Dean left this club, man. Let's just hope that one day the light shines. But until then, this is where we're at, people. But yeah, on that note, though, man, I want to go and get lunch, man. So I don't want to bore you lot. I should have some content coming out today, as usual, for you lot's talking points, questions, support, bants. Appreciative to you lot, man. So yeah, man, subscribe if you haven't, smash the like button if you haven't. I'll link up with you lot again soon, man. I'm gonna bring out obviously the transfer bit of this. I'll cut it up, get a more condensed one out for those who have missed it or whatever. But yeah, on that note, hope you all have a great day. One love.
Like